Hello, beautiful people. Let's talk a little bit about pain, shall we? So, as I continue to answer some questions, I want to talk about pain elimination and management. Obviously, pain elimination management is a huge part of what we focus on here at Inner Strength. It is like, it's kind of the first thing that we look at. It is the first thing that we look at whenever somebody is coming to work out and get healthier and even lose weight. The first thing that we want to do is make sure that we have minimized the pain as much as we possibly can. Um, you know, yes, eating healthier and exercise can absolutely help with your pain and inflammation, which causes more pain. Um, but today I want to talk about overcoming those mental barriers and really getting you to understand the purpose of pain, what it really is, and how to be able to manage it with confidence and know that when too much is too much or when it is maybe a good thing. Please go into this video with a little bit of an open mind and look at it through the lens of maybe I don't know everything about pain. Maybe I should rethink some of the things that I know or what I think I know. So, warning, we're going to challenge some of those beliefs. There is a lot about pain that has been updated recently in pain science literature, as well as things that we've known for a long time, and the way that we incorporate those into the roots, into the exercise, nutrition, stress management, sleep management, pain management, is only helps us balance out that whole healthy lifestyle thing. And when we can use pain as a useful tool, we then take that next step forward towards really freeing our mind and getting all that much healthier. The more I think about it, and the more I keep wanting to say health is a state of mind. And I kind of somewhat believe that. And I'm going to continue to kind of look into that more. But what I'm about to talk about with pain kind of lends itself towards that, and I think it's really interesting. So, here's a cold, hard, and unbiased truth about pain. Very few doctors or healthcare professionals will ever tell you, because doctors and healthcare professionals are in the business of reactionary medicine, not preventative medicine. If doctors prescribe preventative medicine, they would not be able to make the living that they do. And that's, yes, a knock on the major healthcare and insurance system here in the United States, but it is true. And so knowing more about preventative medicine through people like dietitians and through people like certified personal trainers and health coaches, that's what we're talking about, preventative medicine. I say it all the time that if you don't take time for your health will take away your time. So let's prevent that from happening, yeah? Another thing is that pain is normal, necessary, and rarely harmful, and we have the literature to back this up. Pain means danger, not damage. I got this from my friend, Dr. Guerin. And so, what is pain? Pain it's not always an accurate measure of tissue status. So when we say tissue status, meaning, it may not be a strain or a sprain or a quote unquote pull, right? It is not always an accurate measure of tissue status. And here's some things to back it up. Danger to your soft tissue is not sufficient or necessary for you to experience pain. We'll dive into this a little bit more as we explore this idea. But it is related to how much danger your brain thinks you are in. All right. And so in that first kind of statement question that kind of brought about this whole teaching, I personally struggle with the mental barrier to pushing through pain, or even the thought that pain is coming with each workout. That thought alone, and not being able to overcome that thought and relax your mind and just enjoy the process of getting healthier and working out and being around the people that you're in, the environment, is not helping decrease the pain. In fact, there's a high likelihood that it is increasing the amount of pain that you get in your workout and outside of the workout. We'll again dive into this a little bit more, so keep that in mind. And I know, so with these we usually get some skeptical looks, and skeptical hippo is always skeptical, but this is an actual, like, from a professional journal, updating the definition of pain. It is a distressing experience associated with actual or potential tissue damage with sensory, emotional, cognitive, and social components. Let's look at this again. All right, so it's a distressing experience, okay? That doesn't necessarily mean that the tissue is distressed. It is just an emotionally distressing experience associated with actual or potential tissue damage with sensory, emotional, cognitive, and social components. Sensory, what you feel. Emotional, the way you feel. Cognitive, what you think. And social, your surrounding environment and people, all right? This got out of place. Give me 1 second. Sorry about that. All right, sorry, that was out of place. So we broke that down. All right, and so just in case you're still skeptical, Hippo, up to 70% of physical issues can arise from psychological stresses. 70%, all right? And since I learned kind of these facts, I've definitely been keeping a casual mental recording of what this is. And, whenever a physical issue arises, maybe there is tissue damage, it seems to me, all right, seems, not definite, all right, but it seems to me that the psychology of that tissue straight, even as small as the slightest strain, kind of increases the psychological stress and the pain up to 70%. And again, I think so. It's what I see. I don't have any hard facts on it, but I think if you were able to see the amount and the volume of just slight physical pain, maybe you have a kid on a team, a football team, a wrestling team, something where there are common little strains and sprains. Basketball is a huge one. I think you'd notice that too. And low amounts and poor quality of sleep. All right, sleep, as we know, is a root. All right, can increase pain and increase risk of injury. All right, probably a little self-explanatory, but we don't usually think about sleep and pain together. Yes, we think it like lowers our cognitive ability, makes us a little bit slower, a little grumpier, all right, but it can definitely increase the pain and increase the risk of injury. The common theme that you'll see amongst all these, and I don't have it written down, is that it stresses the central nervous system. And when the central nervous system is stressed, we feel the pain, all right? So stress can increase pain and delay healing by 60%. That's where I was going with that central nervous system. All right. Can increase pain and delay healing by 60%. Healing can be many different things. It can be the way that, when we're looking in the case of the tissue, all right, stress can increase pain and delay healing of that tissue by 60%. Another kind of parallel that I've been able to see since looking at these definitions is that it's the same thing with weight loss. If you're constantly stressed and you're constantly putting yourself through emotional pain, all right, you can delay your rate of weight loss, I think, by 60%. Again, no hard facts, but it's something that I see with our, multiple hundred people that come through here a week. So something to think about. Healing can also be things like water retention and emotions and things like that. But I think that if you look at the actual that stress, physical and mental, can increase your reaction and your feeling of pain by 60%. And also emotional stress can increase pain and delay weight loss by 60% as well. Now, a little thing to back up the severity of pain versus the severity of injury, okay? If you think about having a paper cut, it's a little cut, but man, it hurts, right? Like a ton. And, if we get a paper cut on an area so that we use a lot, like our fingertip, right? We are constantly aware of that and constantly annoyed, and it just gets kind of worse and worse, right? Now, compare that to somebody who's had a limb removed, all right? They're in a ton of pain with no limb, right? The limb is gone, but they still feel the pain physically. And that is because of the emotion of losing the limb, right? The nervous system and the nerve endings, along with the emotion that goes along with that, makes them feel so much like it is there. It's kind of like reading, the mixed up words. As long as like the first and last letter are the same, we can usually like figure that out. The body does the same kind of thing. If it feels, the nerve endings and it feels the emotions, I think that's how that kind of links up, right? I'm not a doctor, but I think that's kind of makes sense the way that it goes. Now, keep in mind the paper cut, all right, little thing, sensitive area, hurts like heck. Amputee, large emotional pain in an area where it doesn't even exist, versus like having a huge bruise. A bruise is a sign of tissue damage. It's bleeding under the skin, right? How many times do you get a huge bruise on an area where you don't really pay attention to? There's actual tissue damage there, and you had no idea the bruise was there. It's like, oh my God, how did I see that, right? Or how didn't I see that? How didn't I know it was there? The severity of the pain is not equivalent to the severity of the injury. All right, something that doctors love to scare us with is things like images and MRIs. And here's some facts to kind of back up that the severity of the pain is not equal to the severity of the injury. All right, all of these people in these studies were pain-free. All right, and so bursa thickening, ACJ degeneration, cuff tendinopathy, right? 78%, 65%, 39% of people, 40 to 70, pain-free. All right, out of the 51 people, 78% of them had bursal thickening, something that's common on an image. They had ACJ degeneration. They had cuff tendinopathy, and were pain-free. Some other things that you see in an image: cartilage damage, bone spurs. Doctors love to scare us with these things. 710 people, 51 to 89, 68%, 72%, significant numbers. Slap knee lesions, another scary term doctors like to use. 53 people, 72%, 40 to 65. Disc degeneration, big sample size, 3,110 people ages 20 to 80. Disc degeneration. How many times do you hear people say that they have a disc problem? 80% of people, of the 3,110 people with disc degeneration, were pain-free, okay? 45 people, ages 15 to 66, 69%. Labral lesions, all right, meaning that there's a lesion on the labrum, sorry. Pain-free. So imaging does not tell us the entire story either. So if you have pain and the first thing that your doctor says is go get an image, I tend to think that that's a little bit of a sales pitch. And maybe there's some better ways to find out what we can do to help ourselves, because the majority of people have these issues and are pain-free and never know it. All right, so it's kind of like, look at how it's all stacks up. There is a pain threshold that we all have. When we factor in tissue, our general health, our fitness, and our nutrition, this thing always pops up. Our social factors, all right? The environment that we put ourselves around, the people we put ourselves around, the sleep factors, if we got enough sleep, the psychological factors of the belief that we can do something about ourselves, the belief that we can improve, or the belief that we're always going to be in pain. Plus the environment that you put yourself in, all right? These are the things that, when all added up, we then hit that pain threshold. The tissue cannot do it alone. Again, it is the severity of the tissue damage is not equal to the severity of the pain. So, to go back to the question, whenever it said something along the lines of, I have a hard time pushing through the pain, you should not push through pain. You should know the symptoms of pain and know how it is either hurting or benefiting you. So, again, real quick, what is pain? The distressing experience associated with actual or potential tissue damage with sensory, emotional, cognitive, and social components. Where did my first slide go? Where's number 1? There it is. Oh, you gotta love it. There we go. All right. Nobody who works out consistently has pain. Here's things to look for, all right? And things to know that if you work out consistently, you're gonna have some pain. It's just the way that it is. You can manage it. You can learn how to be better with it. The biggest thing is look at all the roots: fitness, nutrition, stress management, sleep management, and pain or tissue status, right? We need to know how all these things are so we know how to decrease our pain from the threshold emotionally. We all need to learn how to perform self-applied body maintenance regularly. All right, so I'm talking about myofascial relief. It can be foam rolling. It can be active release technique. It can be lacrosse ball pinpointing. It can be massage. All right, any of these things are considered body maintenance. Breathing, body maintenance. All right, resetting the nervous system, getting relaxation in the tissues so that we can make some more adjustments to the way that we feel, okay? Again, and maybe not again, this is just the way that it is. Pain tells you there is an issue. It does not tell you where the issue is. You may, again, going back to the amputee, right? They have pain in their foot, but yet there is no foot there, okay? It is not, you don't have to be an amputee to feel that kind of pain. You just have to have the deep emotional connection to the pain, and you can feel it in certain other places. It's kind of like compensation patterns when you sprain your knee and you shift all your weight to the other leg, and all of a sudden now you got 2 bad knees, right? It is the emotional perception of not being able to use that, so we move away from it, okay? Pain can absolutely be a good thing. It protects us from harm. It sounds the alarm. It signifies progressive overload, which is how we make permanent changes in our body, which is good. But we have to know the difference between good and bad pain. Good pain is dull, achy, sometimes a little burny, all right? A little bit. There's also nerve pain that can burn. You get to know the difference between the two. Now there's also bad pain, sharp pain, like you're being stabbed. Not good pain. We know that. We can feel it. We can internalize it. That is when you should not push through it, okay? You can absolutely get quote unquote pain from lactic acid building up in a muscle when you're working out. That is a way for A, the body to produce more energy, and B, for the body to produce a way to self-heal and recover itself for growth. And that's a very good thing, okay? Last thing that I'll leave you with in this video is to know the basic rules. When you're working out, we need to A, be in the right position. Usually check your posture. If you're in a good posture, long neck, tall, confident chest, shoulders back and down, ribs stacked right above the hips and not displaced in front of them. Usually pretty good starting point, all right? Then we need to focus on the form that we use. Are our joints at the right angles? Can we achieve the proper mobility and stability of the joints? The tempo, how fast or slow should we be focusing based off the goals that we have? Then we can start to look at the load that we are applying to the movement and then adjusting the volume based off of the load that we're using, okay? So these are all things that I wanted you to know about pain, how to deal with it, how to help it, when to know if it's a bad thing, what to avoid whenever you have pain. Maybe, an image can't tell you the whole story. Not maybe, we know it doesn't tell you the whole story, all right? But we want to be able to know what to do with this pain. The one thing that I can leave you off with is that it's really the emotional component that taps into all the other areas, all right? If you internalize negative emotions with pain, not attributing for the fact that it can be a good thing and it can be an alarm of when to help us and it can be an indicator of when we are improving our body. If you just automatically think that all pain is bad, you're going to have a worse and worse experience with less and less tissue damage. All right. So just be educated, know your pain so you can know how to benefit from it.